The Pride UFC veteran. I guess you fought for a lot of companies out there. We'll start off by how you're doing today.
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Keeping busy in the COVID, or?
I'm trying to train, man. It's hard. I just don't want to get too out of shape. It's hard though. You gotta be responsible and be mindful of other people too, right? But at the same time, you gotta take care of yourself also.
Do you own your own gym, or do you have one that you go to, or?
No, I'm with UFC Gym, but they're closed right now, so I'm using kind of like a private gym right now every now and then, and I'm doing my training at home.
Oh, okay. First question for you is Pride or UFC?
I gotta go with Pride, man. That's the one that's closest to my heart. Although I'm a huge UFC fan, obviously I watch every event, but Pride is the one that's definitely closer to my heart for sure.
Absolutely. There was this more It was more entertaining. There was more. I feel like there was more energy there. Like people just went.
Yeah,
crazy,
it was pretty cool. It was just at that time of my life too. Like it was just I don't know. It's got a special place in my life.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do you have a favorite moment for when you fought, or?
There's a bunch of them. One thing that a lot of fighters don't talk about that fought in Pride is the moment just before they call you out to the ring. If you remember in Pride, they would, before the event would start, they would call out the fighters one by one to the ring and do kind of like a presentation of the fighters to the crowd. And that was a really kind of magic moment right then, because you just had everybody backstage, everybody lined up ready to come out. Everybody's nervous. The music is so loud. When you're standing backstage, you're standing right by the speakers. You got the fireworks or the fire going off. Like you can feel the heat from the fire. The music is blaring. Sometimes they had the drums going off. So it was just really, really cool, man. Really, it was very something. You knew you were part of something special right then.
It wasn't just a fight. It was a whole entertainment aspect. People came to get a real show. And I think that's where UFC is missing. I think Conor McGregor brought some of that entertainment into the UFC, Brock Lesnar, but Pride had it all the way along. Did you have any personal pre-fight rituals that got you pumped up, or were you one to have a lot of nerves going into a fight?
Yeah, you always have nerves. Any fighter that says that they don't have nerves is lying, man. They're always there. You're just used to having them there. That's the difference with the fighter that's experienced. They're like they feel that nervousness all over again, and they just know how to deal with it. As far as pre-fight rituals, you got the same little things that you do every time. Like I like to take a nap as soon as I get to the dressing room, and then my thing is I want to save every little ounce of energy that I have in my body. So I don't want to waste any pacing around or joking around. I want to just I want to conserve everything that I have in me. So I would lie down, take a nap, and then just start warming up. A couple of fights before my name was called out, and then that's it, man.
Was there any special fighter that you really looked up to in your career starting?
Starting, it was definitely guys like Frank Shamrock. I thought was really cool. He was, if you remember Frank Shamrock, a lot of guys don't even know who he is.
One of the greatest.
But he was the first kind of real modern MMA fighter to be complete and to train like a professional. Before then, guys like Tito Ortiz and guys were MMA fighters, but they were more like just natural raw tough guys. Frank Shamrock really took the training to another level, to that level of professionalism. That's where it's at today.
Yeah. If it weren't for the training camps in the cutting weight, do you think you'd still be taking if they offered you, would you take a fight in today, or?
No, I've had almost over 50 fights, man. I think that's enough. After a while, you got to start to. Oh, I almost dropped my phone. After a while, you gotta start to take care of your body and your head a little bit. There's some things that are more experienced than more important than fighting in life.
I agree with that. At the end of your career, did you know that was going to be your last fight? Did you go into it as your last fight?
Yes and no. I I did in the sense that I knew that there wasn't much longer.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last fight was the fight with Melvin Manoff. And then as soon as I barely trained for that fight, to be honest.
He's
That's
scary
the only
too.
fight. Yeah, it's the only fight where I didn't take that seriously in terms of training, and it's the only time where I did not make weight. Well, I made weight, but I missed it the first time, and I had never missed weight before in all my fights. And then after the fight, I was like, I looked back on it and I thought, oh yeah, okay, this is it. Before, the fighting was always something that I did out of passion and out of love for the training.
Yeah.
But when I look back on my training camp for that and on that fight, retrospectively, it's always clear. And I thought, yeah, it's time to hang it up.
Yeah, I agree with that. One thing rare about your resume is that you have a lot of knockouts and a lot of submissions, so you're very well-rounded. Was there something you preferred? Did you prefer going to the ground, or did you prefer fighting standing up for the most part?
No, I mean, the knockout was always the best thing, obviously. Any fighter will tell you that. I don't care if you're Damian Maia. Everybody loves a knockout. It's but you take what you can get. When you're there, the most important thing is winning. But yeah, there's something when you get a knockout. See, the thing about a knockout is it's like it's
an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, it's instant. It's like winning the lottery. You're here, you're not winning, and then boom, instantly you're winning. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So it's a different kind of victory for sure.
I agree with that. And my last question for you is, what did you think about the covet and the whole UFC 249? Last time I spoke to you, we were kind of making predictions, and then we had the whole COVID. Dana White got shut down, I guess, from Disney, ESPN.
You got to give it to Dana for trying. I mean, the guy is a warrior for MMA. This guy goes to bat for our sport, and he was trying hard to make it happen. And like, come on, let's be real here. Like, we know that if if he can't do it, we know he at least tried, and there really was something serious or someone from high up. I mean, it was the head of Disney who called him. Basically.
Yeah.
The head of the Illuminati of the evil empire running everything from the background. That literally called them and said, "Yeah, you can't do this."
He said he could pull through with the event, but he signed the deal with ESPN that he wanted. He could still go with it, but he doesn't want to.
Right, of course. No. They probably asked him. They said you could go ahead and do it, and then you'd be on our bad side, or you could stay on our good side and not do it.
Probably
him being smart,
absolutely.
Obviously. Yeah.
And do you think? Sorry, one more. Do you think that would affect you as a fighter? I always looked at it differently. If you were fighting without the crowd, do you think that would have had an effect on you and how they fought? I find that more people would have fought more to their potential because the nerves wouldn't be there as much.
I think it would affect you for sure. I think it would be for the better. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be definitely like, I'll tell you one thing. One of the biggest differences that I noticed going over to the UFC from Pride was the crowd being super loud. Like, I'll give you an example. When I'm fighting in Pride, I can hear Mauro Ranallo and Bas Rutten commentating.
And Bas Rutten's loud, eh?
Sorry?
But Bas Rutten is loud.
Yeah, he is. But it was pretty quiet. And then walking into the UFC, it is just chaos. Like, it's people screaming. It's chaos. You're looking. You can't hear your corner at all. The UFC cage is huge. You take 2 steps into the middle of the cage, you can't hear your corner at all. Even when you're in your corner, like right by where your coaches are, it's not that easy to hear them. So it's definitely different. And then one thing also in UFC, I noticed that the ref is he stresses you out. He's always like, "Come on, you gotta work.
That is true.
Work, so that's a little different as well. So
it's like you want to get down here and do it and see what it feels like.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, come on, bro, let me work here.
There was an instance where did you see the fight where MVP Daniel Murgulata was kind of taking a point away for taunting? I thought that was a little bit over the top.
I didn't see that. Really?
Yeah, he did a taunt and then he gave him a point.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think the refereeing needs to get a little bit. Same with the judging. The judging is getting a little ridiculous too lately. So
yeah, the judging's getting bad, man. I don't
What are
know
your
what
thoughts?
the hell is happening with that.
Do you think a fighter should be the judge, or is that something that
If they
could
can,
actually
I
work?
mean, the judges have to be. It has to be someone who's trained in judging. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Who knows how it works? It can't just be somebody who likes MMA or who fought, because there's some fighters who would make horrible judges as well. But
There'll also be bias too, because they'll be going, "That's my friend. I trained with him,"
yeah,
right?
maybe there would have to be some kind of background search, to see if there's any connection with the fighters in the cage. But it has to be someone who definitely. I think there should be a better training protocol for the judges. Like, they should be made to watch certain key fights and be they should be judged, pun intended. They should be judged on how they judge the fights, right? So they should be told, hey, watch this fight, tell me who won and
Hmm.
why, and that's it. And then you discuss it, right? So they would know what to look for.
They're also talking about having the scorecards on the board throughout the fight. I don't know
That
what your
would be
thoughts on
good.
that.
That would be good. Yeah.
But would you feel that would be bad to a point that people would throw it away too much? Like, people could be winning a fight or could be down, and sometimes their game plan can go out the window.
I
So do
don't
you think
think it
it
would
would?
affect it that much. I don't even know that would affect the judges that much, because there would still be bad judges. That would just be better for the viewers, I think. Right?
Then
The
we'd
people
get more.
watching, you see the score, right? You can see what's happening.
We'd get more fifth round Robbie Lawlers. So
Yeah. I mean,
but
I'll tell you, I'll give you a little inside trick right now. Most good coaches, myself included, if you're coaching someone in a UFC or whatever, you're getting someone to text you uh, how it looks from the pay-per-view at home, because when you're in the fight, you can't really tell. You know what I mean?
I agree with
You
that
understand? So if
100%.
I'm in there coaching someone, I'm getting my buddy that I trust, getting his opinion, send me a text, or not every time, but a lot of the time that's what happens.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
yeah.
I really appreciate your time. We've talked a couple times now, and I
Yeah,
really
man.
appreciate it. So
No problem, man.